neon white.
Hello and welcome to Volume 8 in my saga to obtain every sapphire medal in the game. This episode, we are wrapping up the middle third of the grind, which I noted as being the hardest section, choosing to do most of the hardest sapphires I had left. The focus on getting new medals means there continues to be very few levels that I've improved on that I covered before, and that will probably keep happening for the rest of the series. So what 10 levels did I deem hard enough to put into this video? Let's find out, starting with
It's because I'm the best.
the last remaining level I believe was in contention of breaking the attempt record, and it wasn't even close. This level's difficulty comes from the raw speed of boofing, where everything has to be done extremely quickly and in rapid succession. That would be hard enough, but there is also the addition of a very bad clip, and a couple of elevate shots that also need to be done instantly, and is where I bled a lot of time beforehand due to not understanding that. Due to the very strict time requirement, my last PB before the Sapphire was within 0.1 seconds of the time, so it, along with 7 other levels this month, was added to a list of levels who also fell just short. I'm glad I chose to do this one after building some skill in the Book of Life, because I had some fun with this level that I probably wouldn't have if I chose to do this level sooner.
That's how it's done.
I expected this level to end up like Fastlane, being a luck-dependent level that I would casually go for between other levels, but I ended up getting the Sapphire pretty early into this grind. There's not a lot you could do to improve your time, there's a self-bullet boost that I obviously wasn't going to do, and a flick at the end which I didn't learn in time. The Godspeed discards are hard to judge, and taking too sharp an angle after shooting the tripwires makes you land on the ground instead of the water, and also makes the above water boost that follows much harder to do. And other than a list inclusion, due to already being very close to the Sapphire at the start of the grind, there isn't much else to say, which is fitting for an easily forgettable level.
It's because I'm the best.
Thought it would be funny to hold back on this level until the final part, like what I did with the Amethyst, but I forced myself to play it now like every other level this part. Obviously I had to get much better at shooting the Purify Bomb, but I also had to learn the other things with the level, namely where to aim the bomb and when to jump. It contributed to my pain and suffering at this level, although I will admit it is fun to see all of your shots line up and you start moving very fast. While I did get this level on the list, and I'll really struggle to improve this level, I will take what I can get, and this Sapphire didn't end up causing me as much struggle as I thought.
And that's how it's done.
I chose to do this level because I had to learn the world record route, the only way to get the medal, which I have tried to do in the past and failed miserably. The main culprits are as expected, being the balloon and jock, and I don't know which one caused me more trouble. Getting a completed run was difficult, obviously, but it was also hard to get a Sapphire TNF, which I like to try and get before really committing to the grind. The problem, as it turned out, was that my ending was slow, as not shooting the last bullets as fast as possible would lose time, so it would also help in finishing a run. I ended up getting what I wanted with minimal hassle, but I believe I can improve this run if I try just a little harder.
Let's see anyone beat that.
Being a very long and complicated level, this level was perfect to put in this part. I had to change a lot of things, but most of them became doable with some practice. The one part that I struggled on was the last ringer boost, as I couldn't figure out how to do the ending part faster, and got this level on the list because of it, which sucks given how much time I saved overall with this grind. The parts that didn't change also had to become better, so better boosts and better lines, but it's hard to get everything to go right at the same time. It also sucks to just barely get the sapphire, so I'll probably come back to this level given enough time. This is the hardest side quest remaining, as everything else will be extremely easy to do. I decided to play it now because I was struggling to get another sapphire that will come later in this video, where I proceeded to get this sapphire in 5 minutes, tying the sapphire time to the millisecond. It seems I also got very lucky, because I tried improving my time for a bit after, and couldn't do it. This level became much easier to me after I had learned the world record route and where to aim the tripwires. The hard part was getting bullet boosts after that to make up the time. That's based on when you jump after the final tripwire, which I couldn't judge that well. There's also the swap at the very end, but all you do there is hold down the fire button, which I didn't understand at first, but quickly got the hang of it. Because I got the sapphire so quickly, I have nothing else to say about the level.
Hey, Red, did you see that?
After Arena, I still couldn't get the sapphire I wanted, so I played this level instead, only to also get it within 5 minutes. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out how to get the time save needed for the sapphire until recently, when it dawned on me that it came from the mimic bullets after collecting the purifier. As it turns out, it is really hard to get both mimic bullets and your own purify bomb to collect, so I missed one of them in this run. As such, I tried to improve it immediately after, but somehow failed to do so. In addition, this level ends up on the list due to the short gap between Amethyst and Sapphire. This level still remains an enigma to me, and any time save that comes afterwards will still feel very random.
Hey, Red, did you see that?
Still struggling to get a certain sapphire medal, I chose to do this one next, which I didn't get in 5 minutes, but still had a much easier time with this level. I started out with the Amethyst route just to relearn how to play the level, as it had been a while since I last touched the level, and switched to the world record route once I got a PB with that Amethyst route. It was always confusing how you could shoot 3 rockets at the start anytime I tried learning this route beforehand, but I eventually got the hang of it, getting my first completed run on the list, and the next run after that to be the sapphire. It still feels like a slow run, but despite the minion card being my favorite, my raw skills, which this level directly tests, is still lacking and needs improving.
That's how it's done.
If you were wondering, this is the level I was complaining about with the previous 3 entries. The route remained mostly the same, except for starting the Purify boost on the Jock instead of killing it, which I could not get the hang of. There were a couple things I tried doing, but the one that worked out was starting the Purify boost later, which was slightly slower, but increased my success count tremendously. Unfortunately, that meant everything else had to be done really well, including the coyote jump at the start, which wasn't that hard, and the purify boost at the end, which I struggled with just as much, since my timing was off and I can't click fast. I ended up with a run within 0.01 seconds of the Sapphire, which felt like a final gut punch to any enjoyment I had with this level, and now I'm not sure if I want to improve this level anymore.
It's because I'm the best.
I'm not sure if this level deserves to be in this part. Considering my one level per chapter per video streak, there weren't many other levels to choose from. Despite the short and simple nature of the level, there were many things I had to learn and perfect in this run, mainly getting the first phantom and trying to spam click the bomb, which I absolutely struggled with. I used an older version of the route that gets a bullet boost from the barnacle because I simply didn't feel like I would save time from changing my route. Because of the nature of the level, any time saved feels random and comes in very tiny increments, which explains how I got this level on the list. Overall, this is a pretty average level, and leaves me with no feelings to describe the level. And that's 80 sapphires collected. We are 2/3 of the way there, and most of the levels that remain are extremely easy. I'm very confident that I can get there, although it will still take about 4 months for the rest of the journey. There are a few stragglers in terms of difficulty, so we'll get most of those next part, as well as some easier ones, so see you in about a month, and thank you for watching.